Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Nicole's Notes. I'm Nicole, and today we'll be talking about invoicing and follow-up tips. So there's a ton we can talk about when it comes to invoicing and following up about payment. So why does it matter? Well, we're going to talk about the 5 W's when it comes to invoicing. First of all, who? Who cares about invoicing? Well, your client, probably yourself if you want to get paid, and the owner or whoever's running your business because they have a business that they need to run and therefore they need payment for it. Now that we know who cares about invoicing, what are the procedures in place for collecting payment? Well, that's something that differs by business to business, whether that is you pay half up front and half at the end. Maybe you collect all up front, or maybe you wait until the very end to collect all payment. Maybe a different structure's in place. It's important to consider what procedure's in place. That way your client knows exactly what to expect when they hire you on to do a job. Next, let's talk about when. When can you expect to receive compensation for your work? Well, again, that really depends on the company that you work for. Sometimes you get paid at the very end after the work has been completed and all the compensation has been paid by the client. Maybe you get paid on a bi-monthly, weekly, or different salary schedule. If you're not salaried and you're paid hourly, it may depend based on your company and the payment structure that they have in place. The most important thing to know is, does your client need to know, oh shoot. And finally, we get to where and why. Does the client know where they should send payment? And why is it important to be clear on how and when payment is collected for your client? Well, if your client doesn't know where they should send their payment, then chances are they could either be proactive about it and ask directly, and that payment could go to a crew member who may or may not give that to the owner or whoever needs it, or they may not say anything at all, and you could be waiting weeks, months, or even years to get that payment just because there wasn't a clear structure set in place. And why is it important to be clear on how and when payment is due? Well, if you haven't established those boundaries and expectations with your client, showing up at their house at 7 o'clock on a weeknight while they're having dinner or getting the kids ready for bed really isn't a good look for your company. Setting those expectations and making them clear before work even begins allows your client to know what to expect. That way, there are no unforeseen issues or awkward interactions or encounters that may occur. When your company has clear and concise invoicing expectations and follow-up with your client, everything is bound to go much more smoothly. So, before we end this episode, I have one last question for you. How does your company's invoicing process affect you? Thanks so much for joining me for episode 5 of Nicole's Notes. We'll see you soon.